Hey guys, and welcome back to the Leah Heilpan Show. So the market is pumping right now. We are definitely in a bull run. Bitcoin's back at $116,000. Things are looking really bullish, but it's not always all about Bitcoin. There's a lot of different projects that I've personally been looking into. And so I want to do a deep dive into one particular project today. This project is an OG project, and they actually recently did a relaunch, which I'm very, very curious about. So today I'm going to be doing a deep dive into ELECTRONEUM, and I'm going to bring Richard Ells, the CEO of ELECTRONEUM, on the show. Richard, how are you?
Hi, Leah. Yeah, very good. Thank you. It's been a long time since we caught up in person, but yeah, I'm standing here in Milan at an art exhibition in a museum with a guy we're doing a collaboration with. So yeah, we're busy and it's fantastic times. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's very interesting that you're there live in Milan. This is very cool. So thank you for joining us. As I talk, feel free to show us around. We were talking earlier, and I saw there was some really cool art pieces behind you. But the thing with ELECTRONEUM is you guys are a very OG project. I heard about you years ago. And I know a lot of people that follow me used to be very big fans of ELECTRONEUM. If not, they still are. But you guys have had a whole relaunch, a rebrand, everything is new. So for those who haven't really been keeping up with all your new updates, can you just explain to us firstly, what is new about ELECTRONEUM? Tell us about this rebrand, and also what on earth are you doing in Milan at an art exhibition?
Okay, yeah. So we relaunched as ELECTRONEUM 2.0. So we had quite a few iterations of our blockchain over the years. We started out 2017, and we were a privacy chain. I still am a big libertarian at heart, so I believe that privacy was something that we should incorporate in our chain. But obviously, the regulators have been very much anti-privacy chain. So we developed it and developed it away. And then, of course, what we were seeing is the rise of the tokenization of the world, and we wanted to get into ensuring that we had smart contracts in our blockchain. But everybody had just, done a Vitalik reboot, and copied Ethereum. So we wanted to do something very different. So what we've done is we've reimagined the security protocols. We've used IBFT, and we've got a very small validator set, 32 validators, ultra energy efficient, ultra low carbon, ultra friendly, and that is the reason that I'm standing here in Milan right now. We've got a collaboration with a huge foundation, One Ocean Foundation, and an amazing artist called Andrea Crispi. He's massively famous in Italy, works with all of the top brands, and he's created some art which we will unveil at some point, and that art is going to be turned into 2,000 NFTs. Oh, wow. And we're going to support an amazing project for One Ocean, the Blue Forest project. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here, and I'm talking in a moment on the main stage to massive collection of brands, press. It's a who's who of Milan here today, and it's pretty much I would say it is the biggest thing that ELECTRONEUM has ever done, and the fact that they've chosen the ELECTRONEUM blockchain, it's just amazing. Yeah, I love it. So cool.
Yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation today is because, obviously you were a privacy chain at the start, and that's very much aligned with my personal values. But what I do love is that you guys evolved with the times. Crypto is constantly innovating. It's constantly changing. And, a lot of projects, they get left behind because they don't adapt. And that's why I was very excited to speak to you, learn more about ELECTRONEUM. Oh, wow, it looks really cool behind you. Yeah, it's very, very cool. Well, you've won an award, right? So can you tell us about the award with the One Ocean? What's the latest award that you guys have won?
Yeah, sure. Well, the project was literally in its absolute infancy when Forbes heard about it and said, "Oh my God, we absolutely love this," and they put us into a prize or potential for winning this award. And so One Ocean sort of said, "Well, look, don't get your hopes up. We're not even announcing anything yet." And I said, "No, we absolutely won't." But we actually came third out of more than two dozen entries, without really, just on the concept of what we're doing. So this whole concept of because people are terrified of launching things on blockchains when they when they're brands, when they're large brands and or foundations, because of the massive electrical use or the electricity use, the energy consumption of some of these blockchains terrifies them because they're worried it's going to misalign their sustainability. So the fact that they can now get involved in NFT projects and raising funds in this particular instance through an NFT project means suddenly we're the chain to go to for these giant collaborations with massive artists. And like I say, Andrea, who I will try and get on later on and do some recordings and put out on social, but he's such a cool artist. It's ridiculous. He combines the digital world with the real world, and it's a cool place to be. So we came third, which is brilliant. So it was all in Italian. I didn't understand a word of it, but it sounds so Italian. Who cares?
You didn't brush up on your Italian before you went there?
Oh, do you know what? I wrote a blockchain joke. And then I told it to Jan from One Ocean, and he said, he goes, I get it because of the word chain and oiling the chain, but unfortunately no one in Italy will get it because chain is a different word. So I fell flat.
That's funny. That makes sense. So you're actually going to be in Miami next week at the Blockchain Futurist Conference. So can you give us some hints about any big announcements that you have coming? Because I know, given ELECTRONEUM is, this has this new launch, you have a lot of new things coming. Like, this is a whole new project. So what can we expect?
Yeah, so effectively, the November the 6th is the launch of this NFT. So Andrea has produced this artwork, which we're going to unveil. And you're going to see some of his other ocean artwork as well. And he's just become an ambassador. I'm not entirely sure if I can say. Can I say you're an ambassador of One Ocean yet? Is it secret? Here's Andrea in the background. So here's the artist. All of this work, this amazing work.
Hi, Andrea.
Is courtesy of. This is Leia. So she's putting this out to the world for the world to see. And I'm raving about your art. Yeah. So. We're going to launch this. One of his incredible artworks is being split up into an NFT, 2,000 pieces. And so each person who buys the NFT, one of these little pieces, is launching it on Rareable on the 6th. But the other thing that we're launching is we've developed a platform that integrates into the donation channels, the donation platforms that there are around the world. In this particular instance, it will be with Donately. And it enables people, so if they've just got an email, a credit card, it means that they can purchase an NFT. So we'll give out the URL and people will be able to go there, buy one of these NFTs, even if they've only got a URL and an email address. So many people want to get involved in this market, but you're from tech, you've been in blockchain a long time.
Yeah.
And you understand the requirements of wallets, etc. Most people it blows their minds. And so what we've got this whole system of selling them the NFT, raising some funds for the projects, and then taking them on a slow journey of, okay, you've got that's now secured, you own it, but now wouldn't it be great if you could do things with that? So we're dropping a tiny bit of ETN, because remember, ELECTRONEUM is really cheap to use, so the gas fees are so ludicrously cheap. We drop it into a wallet with a tiny bit of gas, so if they want to move it on into the resale market, that gas will enable them to do it. Whereas again, if you'd bought this way through another chain, you'd end up not having the gas fees required to move it on again, and you'd have to suddenly go on a larger learning curve. So we've got a whole plan to get people involved and onboard them, and that unveiling really is us announcing that ELECTRONEUM is open for business to all the major projects that are out there that have actually thought about sustainability, and all brands and foundations, NGOs, everybody who cares about the environment effectively is going to be tempted into utilizing blockchain where they were scared to use blockchain before.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic, because blockchain is obviously the future. You can't really disagree at this point. And there definitely needs to be some type of smooth integration, whether it's for, the everyday person, whether it's for projects looking to build. There needs to be that smooth integration in order for, mass adoption to happen, which we're always talking about. Well, what about 2026? What can we expect from EVM compatible layer one blockchain? Is it going to support more decentralized applications? Like what can we expect for the roadmap for 2026?
So we've just today heard that Zipto have integrated this. So there's now an ETN debit card, so you can sign up to Zipto
nice.
and you can buy ETN. You can certainly spend ETN on a card. I know that we've got other integrations out there where you can buy on a card. So the on ramps and off ramps have been a very important thing, and we've been all over that this year, which now they are live already. We've got a couple of US exchanges. We've got one US exchange which is we're definitely going to be going live on. I know we've had a lot of developers are in the US, so there's been a lot of pressure to get into those US exchanges. One of the bigger which we're in talks with, and bigger that we've got a few of the really smaller US exchanges, but somebody else that's a big brand that's got a US arm is live with us in 2026, and as we start to get more developers on, and the whole idea is that we tempt developers with the idea that we're working with people that have got massive brands behind them now. These guys are working with the biggest brands in the world. The biggest brands in the world are here tonight. I should be talking to them. We're sending them all off with an NFT. Every single one of them is leaving. So Forbes are here, Sky TV is here. All these people are all leaving with an NFT on the Electronium blockchain. So we're going to be driving much more in the blockchain due to sustainability and sustainable practices. And as such, we should get more developers on in 2026. And the world is our lobster.
I love it. We've spoken about the US, you're in Europe, but what about pushing and driving mass adoption in more emerging markets like Africa and Southeast Asia? What's the plan there?
Yeah, well, look, we haven't, if you followed us over the years, we're very much about driving adoption in those places. And we've got massive user bases in Brazil and Indonesia, all over the world. So the reality is by doing what we've done and making blockchain accessible through at very, very low cost. So we're super fast as well. We're not just low cost. We're 5-second finality. So really, really fast blockchain. And actually it's massively affordable. So those guys, we're listed on Rarible. We're launching this on Rarible, a major NFT platform. So literally anybody around the world can afford to run NFTs, but there'll be other integrations that we're doing in 2026 that again opens up the world of things that people are doing on Web3 that's relatively expensive, token launches, etc., that people will be able to do for absolute pennies. And I think that is what opens up the markets for the developing world.
And just lastly, talking about the environment and people's carbon footprint is obviously very popular and very trending right now. So I'm curious, can you give us some insight into how Electroneum's eco-friendly consensus mechanism actually positions you guys as a leader in sustainable blockchain technology?
Yeah, sure. So mostly the blockchain model, which is a perfect good model, and whilst there's maybe 4 million computers that are involved, for instance, in the Bitcoin blockchain, which I know people freak out about a little bit, and certainly from our experience, we're seeing a lot of panic about that, and so people are worried about it. But the reality of it is, that they're trying to solve things a different way, and it's their security mechanism, right? So the more people that are involved in it, the better the security is, and there's nothing wrong with that model. So I'm not here to slag off Bitcoin or to slag off Ethereum. That massive decentralization and security that comes with it is super important. But what we're doing is we're offering something different. So we don't have such big decentralization. We've got 32 validators run by known quantities. Now, yes, it does mean that if Maidstone, where we were based, is struck by a meteorite, the blockchain continues. So we've got continuity, but we don't have that giant decentralization. But at the same time, there's so many cross-chain bridges now that enable you to develop on one chain and do something and then transfer value from chain to chain. We're on Hyperledger, which enables you to hop around from chain to chain with value. So I think that what we're doing is we're opening up this sustainable angle for the people that are really interested in that sustainability, and they're worried about their corporate brand, or they're worried about their their NGO or whatever it is that they're running. If they're in a market where they have to be seen to be green, it's very difficult to use Ethereum and then explain it to their user base, to their people that are interested in their projects. So we give an option for those people, and then they can launch things, they can do things on our chain, and there's nothing to stop them then taking that value and hopping it across anywhere else they want. So if they feel more secure on with USDC, for instance, on Ethereum, that's fine, hop it across Hyperledger. If you then want to jump some of that into Bitcoin because it's the ultimate blockchain asset, then buy some Bitcoin, and sit on it. We're all about educating people about that, educating people about blockchain in general, about having a wallet, about getting involved in Web3 and developing things. So we're not trying to replace Ethereum, we're not trying to replace Bitcoin. We are just a really nice part of a market segment that suits a whole wealth of industries because of our environmental stance.
Yeah, I think that you're completely right. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this goes. Sorry, say that again. You cut out. Say that again, Richard.
I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure I answered the question. I got a bit excited and started talking about things, and then I thought, I'm not too sure what the question was. So forgive me if I didn't answer.
No, I was just asking what really what positions you as the sustainable blockchain, but you definitely answered it. And I think that it's going to be really, you nailed it. You're good. I think it's going to be interesting to see how 2026 plays out, because you're right. A lot of these major companies, they want to be more eco-friendly and they want to get involved in crypto. And right now it arguably that there's that clash, right? So you guys are coming in to solve that problem. So I think that's really interesting. Well, Richard, it's been so great speaking with you. Before we say goodbye, do you want to just spin and show us? You want to show us around? The art looks great.
I mean, look, it's there's a giant CNC machine here as well that he uses to carve some of these things. There's these things that are carved out of all sorts of different materials, and like I say, later on I shall be I'm not sure when it's the exact unveiling, but he's done some these optical illusion ones are so cool. I don't know if you can see them, but when you're really close to them, they just look like lines, and then the further you get away from them, then the features of the art start to appear. It's very cool. He's got some great stuff, and the artwork that he's made for One Ocean and for this launch is a very cool art piece. And I saw him literally furiously finishing it yesterday with painting. So he's a very good guy who's producing this extraordinary stuff. So I'm very excited to be here. Biggest thing that Electroneum's ever done with the biggest brands that we've ever come across. So there's more people in the background. Sorry about me chatting over your video, guys. So
that's so funny.
I shall leave you. Thank you so much for checking in. I'm so grateful that you're doing it, and we're very excited to be part of this.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Richard, for joining us. I'll let you go. I know you have to speak on stage, but we will see you in Miami at the next crypto conference. So very excited for all your announcements, and we'll see you very soon.
Take care, Leah. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.